Hello everyone, I'm glad that we are finally done with the series of creating a dozen city prompts in Blender because a lot of people is asking for special videos. So today I came with something different from modeling but really helpful and powerful for all the 3D artists. And this is a model manager for Blender that actually is stable and very nice made. So let's dip in. So first go to chocofur.com. I will put the link into the description. Log in or register to create your account. I already have my own account here, so I'm going to log in, and then you have to go to add-ons. Here you can find the Chocofur Model Manager for Blender 2.8. So let's download the 2.8 and above, and once it's downloaded, let's jump to Blender. Without unzipping it, let's go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons tab, and here let's press install. Select the add-on that you downloaded locally, and once it's imported, press here the checkbox. From here we have to browse the library path. Is the only thing that we have to configure thanks to Chocofur. So this will be the general folder that all the models will be underneath. So it's the top of the hierarchy. So once adding the path, please, if you want to keep this add-on, click down here and save preferences. So closing the preferences window, and by pressing N or by just expanding from here the properties, you will see a new tab which is called the Chocofur Model Manager. In here, as you can see, I have all my subfolders from the top hierarchy folder that we selected. In there we are creating new folders where I have accessories, anatomy, animals, animations, architectures, and so on. If we now expand this, as you can see from here, there is another drop down which is the subfolders of this folder. So in the anatomy, as you can see, I have the eyes and the feet, where you can choose between them. Let's say for the props, we have here the air condition, antenna, barrel, etc., where you can switch between them. Now if you click on this mini preview, you can see that all the models that we have in that subfolder are shown in here. So by selecting one of these, you are changing the model that you can add. So if we click on add, the model is added to our viewport. So if I change here, as you can see, the next model is added. The good thing about it, if we switch to shading viewport, as you can see, all the models that we are importing from Chocofur are imported with the materials that are applied on. This is some textures. I will show you that this is actually textures. So textures are imported from the file, and also if we add something like let's say this one, they are added, but these have no texture. So all the nodes with the connected textures are imported. So this is really easy for creating and adding prompts to a landscape. For example, if we have, let's delete everything. If we have here a room, we can easily just start adding our prompts. Let me delete this face. So let's say this is a room. We can start adding our prompts to it. So as you can see, I have here the shelves. So it's really easy for importing your models to a scene. So let's move on now and see how all this hierarchy is created and how the textures and the mini preview images are added in order to have this nice hierarchy here with all the models added. So as you can see here, this Blender is my main folder, so it's the top of the hierarchy that we choose into the Chocofur Model Manager settings. And down here I have all the general folders for each one. For example, I have weapons, vehicles, etc. So for example, let's take the weapons. In here we have the subfolders where you can separate between the general category. So I have in here, for example, the swords, snipers, shotguns, shells, etc. And if we now go to another folder that we have, you can see that in here I have the Blender files, a textures folder, and a renders folder. Have in mind that this folder has to be in lowercase letters with the S, so it's renders. About the textures folder, we don't care about it, so name it whatever you like. Chocofur is only using this renders folder for the mini preview images. So as you can see here, I have the sniper _001.blend file. And if we go here in the renders folder, I have the sniper _001.png and the sniper _001.jpg. So then file name has to match the image file name, and we only need the JPEG image. So for every file that you have, a Blender file, the same name should be added to the JPEG image and added here in the renders folder in order to have a mini preview and in order to be able to add it to the 3D viewport. Now in the textures, this is my structure, this is how I do it. You can do it however you like, but I would like to keep my textures for each file in here. So as you can see, I only have textures for this AWP. So the AWP Blender file, I named here his textures to another folder, AWP, and I have here all the textures for each material. This is my structure. As I said before, this is how I like to keep my things in order. So I have the AWP textures in the textures folder, the general one, and for this file. So this is how it goes for the Chocofur Model Manager. Let's go back once again. So we have our top of hierarchy. I like to name it like this in order for you to understand how this goes. In there we have our general categories, and for each category we have we can split and create new folders for whatever we like. So I'm going back to the top of the hierarchy folder, and I will start creating a new category with new subfolders in here in order to show you how it goes. So I'm creating a new folder. I will name it, for example, bridges, and in here we can add new folders. For example, I would like my structure here to be wooden ones and concrete ones. So you can name the folders whatever you like. This is a subfolders that we will have in the drop down, as you saw before, to the model manager. And for each folder here we are creating the renders folder. This is important to have it there. So I'm creating the renders folder here, and let's switch to Blender to see how it looks. So in here, as you can see, is already updated. So we have here the category of the bridges, and in here we have the concrete and the wooden one. As you can see, we don't have any Blender files or images there to add. So let's go and add something in there. So for example, I will create something here. So this is my bridge that I would like to add. Let's also create a new material for it. And this is what we would like to export to the wooden one, let's say, bridges. So we are going to save our Blender file and go to the bridges folder, the wooden one, and name here, for example, wooden. We also said before that we will need a JPEG mini preview image. So let's create our camera. Let's render this one and save us in the renders folder as wooden. So let's go in here now. As you can see, I have my render here, but I would like to have a JPEG file. So I will rename this one to JPG, and this is and the name should be the same as the image. So everything is set up. Let's go to Blender and create a new file. I will delete everything from the viewport and open the Chocofur Model Manager from here, bridges, and change to the wooden. As you can see, the image is now shown and we can add it to the 3D viewport. So as you can see, the model is imported with all the materials applied. This is the end of the tutorial. I wanted to say a big thanks to Chocofur for this amazing model manager, and I hope everyone enjoyed the video. So if you liked it, press the like button, leave a comment below, and of course subscribe.